Armored Core is just a few months out, but we all know what comes after that. The Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. In today's video, I just want to briefly talk about some speculations that I have as to what the DLC will contain. Now let's start with the actual lore. Now it's safe to assume that the person that's riding the horse in the only screenshot we have for information is Mikola. And the reason why we can assume that is because of the hair. Mikola has long golden hair, as you can see here in the intro cinematic, so it is very likely that it is indeed him. Now what does that mean for the gameplay and the lore? Because obviously, as we all know, when the game starts, Mikola is in Mohg's palace and he's in a state of semi-death. He is incubated in this egg, and it's safe to assume that Mohg is trying to resurrect him for his own purposes. Now, since all these events already happen and Mikola is present in the official artwork, I believe that this portion of the game, the DLC, will take place in the past. So you will experience events that has already happened that are related to Mikola and that we haven't seen in the main game. I think it makes sense for From Software to go that route because Mikola is one of the least explored character, and his whole situation, his whole lore is still shrouded in mystery. Now let's talk about where the DLC would actually be, and this is where it gets very interesting. This is the middle of Elden Ring's map, and as you can see, if you draw a line in between all the 6 divine towers, it converges to this spot in the middle. That would essentially be in the middle of the lands between. Now, this is where I believe the DLC will take place. I believe that you will have to activate all the great runes because they didn't have much of a purpose in the main game, but this will play a huge part in the story of the DLC. Also, it would make sense that the DLC is endgame content, and that's why you have to kill all the bosses to accumulate the great runes and therefore rebuild the Elden Ring, and then you can access the DLC. I believe that once you obtain all 6 great runes, then something will happen and you will go into the past, kind of like a flashback, and then you will be in the area in the middle before it got destroyed. Now it also makes sense that this is where the DLC will take place because take a look at the title, Shadow of the Erdtree. From Software is always very deliberate with their titles, and they often have hidden meanings within them. Now let's say that the sun would be setting or rising north. Where would the shadow of the actual Erdtree be? Exactly in the middle of the map, where I predict the DLC will take place. As for the extra gameplay elements, obviously there will be epic bosses, many new spells and weapons, and as for the size of the DLC, I do believe it will be substantial. Elden Ring is already a huge game, probably the size of Caelid. Anyways, that's it for the speculations for today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I can't wait to get my hands on this one when it finally comes out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.